Hi there, Steve Coffin here. Remember, if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe. Here I talk about language learning, of course. And I have been asked, by the way, to do videos in Russian and in Japanese and maybe sometimes in Portuguese. And I always say I will, and then I end up not doing it because the problem is that not everyone understands those languages. Then I get requests for subtitles. But if people want me to speak in different languages, I will. What do you want me to speak about? In which languages? So I have requests for Russian, Japanese, I think Portuguese. If there are others, let me know, and I will try to schedule them. Now, today I would like to talk about something that sort of crossed my mind. I always think about language learning because I have to admit it's a major part of my life. I enjoy learning them. I enjoy using them. I enjoy it when I meet people that I can speak to in languages that I have learned. I enjoy going to the countries where I can, communicate. Right now with my Arabic, like this morning I was reading in Al Jazeera, looking up every, 50, 60% of the words. It doesn't matter. I was getting a different perspective on events in the Middle East, and through, Arabic. Gradually I will learn those words, not overnight, obviously. So I enjoy it, and so I think about the relationship between other things and language learning. And one thing that struck me is that, like right now in my Arabic, I feel that I'm starting to turn a corner. I have put so much time and effort into listening and reading and reviewing my words, and of course all of this stuff gradually accumulates. You're not conscious. You have the feeling that you're learning and forgetting, but all the while, when you're learning and forgetting and listening and so forth, this is like sediment that's collecting in your brain, and it's building up to a point where suddenly things become clearer, things start to stick better. And so it's this gradual, imperceptible process. I've said before that, as in many things, we tend to overestimate, or we expect very rapid, progress and evidence of progress. But then we don't realize the longer term. We underestimate the extent to which we are learning in the long term. And that reminds me of something that was said by a lady that I knew who was very much into gardening. And there is apparently an expression when it comes to gardens. The first year it sleeps, the second year it creeps, and the third year it leaps. So the garden, if you put in a new garden, the first year there's nothing there. You just planted some small shrubs or bulbs for flowers or small little seedlings or whatever it is you planted. And the second year it grows a little, so it creeps. But in the third year it leaps, it jumps. And that's what happens with language learning. We're unaware of the extent to which we are putting things into our brain that are starting to connect, that are creating the conditions so that later on, all of a sudden, our language learning can start, or our ability and our comprehension can start to creep and then leap. All right? And perhaps to continue on that theme, the key thing that we have to sock into place is comprehension, in my view. And I had an interesting exchange on Twitter with various language teachers who were, again, sort of lamenting the fact that very often certainly adult learners want to speak now, or the younger learners don't care. As one teacher said, he's never been asked by his young students, I want to speak, I want to write. So the younger learners will quite happily focus on comprehension and vocabulary and so forth. But the adults seem to want, I want to speak now. And of course, the whole instructional system is based on getting people to say things now and to say it accurately. And of course, in my view, you can speak early. It's good. It stimulates you. It even helps in developing comprehension, but it needn't be accurate. It needn't be correct. You needn't have to worry about grammar or anything else. You want to get that comprehension in. Comprehension is kind of like the fertilizer. It's all these leaves that are falling in there that are decomposing and becoming fertilizer, so that at a later stage, your garden can leap and you can leap forward. And of course, as I always say, eventually you have to do a lot of speaking, but it has to be based on this firm, this rich soil of comprehension of words and so forth. So, in language learning, the first year, it sleeps like a garden. The second year, it creeps. And the third year, it leaps. Now, that needn't be 3 years. It can be 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, or 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, depending on how different the language is from languages you already speak. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.